Hey, I'm Matt Spencer and welcome to PowerBoat Television. You know, as being part of the boating media, I get to go to some pretty cool media events. So I thought this week, why not bring you along with us? So we're here at a Mercury Marine media event that just happens to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. Our home for the next 2 days was Bourgeois Fishing Charters, located just south of New Orleans, where owner Captain Tofiel and his wife Eileen were gracious enough to host us. On their docks was a mixed bag of outboard, IO, and diesel-powered boats, representing the latest and greatest from Mercury. It was here that we were able to catch up with Mercury President Mark Schwabero.
One of the things we're seeing is more and more of the new product we're doing is what I use the term experiential product. And you know, you can read about it and you can conceptually understand it, but I mean, until you get on a boat and are docking a quad Verado joystick product, I mean, you have to be there, see it, and do it. And this was just a great opportunity to make that available to the media.
We don't rest on our laurels at all. Part of my job is to make sure that never happens. That we have strong competitors and have historically had strong competitors, but we've always managed to maintain that advantage. We invest constantly in the best people, in more people. We've just hired about 100 new engineers, which is a big deal in the market, and they're from around the world. And we invest in new facilities, new kinds of development methodologies, computer-aided engineering techniques, just to keep us, one step ahead of the competition constantly.
Out in front of Bourgeois, the river was a flurry of activity as boats were almost constantly running in and out of the slips. We also happened to be there on the opening day of shrimping season, so the shrimp boats were headed up and down the river non-stop. I'll give you this time to make any Forrest Gump jokes you may have. One boat I was particularly excited to run was the new Sea Ray 240 sundeck, which was powered by an outboard for the first time. Right away, the benefits were quite obvious. The bow rise was minimal on takeoff, and, once on plane, the boat was smooth and quiet, an absolute pleasure to drive. The optional Verado delivered exceptional power from the whole shot to wide open throttle. Overall, this package is sure to be a hit with Sea Ray buyers. Another boat I wanted to get my hands on was the 37-foot Statement center console. Not so much because of the boat itself, but rather what was powering it.
I believe we went out and interviewed a lot of engine companies, engine block companies, and we ended up choosing a Volkswagen really for their reliability, their quality, just the customer awareness. So we do offer stern drives, from the 3-liter all the way to the 4.2 V8 and inboards as well for various applications. The fuel savings is something you'll notice right off the bat, I believe, with this particular boat, which is a heavy boat, running the V8s at wide open throttle. You're between 2 and 3 miles to gallon as opposed to a gasoline package. With a variable geometry turbo on these engines, you'll really feel the whole shot, the planing speeds, and even just maintaining top end speeds with loads. Very maintainable in comparison to a gas package.
Like Mark alluded to off the top, this was a boat you had to experience, with the TDI diesels delivering unrelenting power. And when the turbo spooled up, you were thrown in your seat. Our chase boat even had trouble keeping up to this 37-foot rocket. Later in the show, we'll have more from the Mercury Marine Media event in New Orleans, but after the break, we'll have a power profile featuring a Mercury. When we last left off, we were in the heart of Louisiana at Bourgeois Fishing Charters, checking out what was new with Mercury Marine. After a day of testing the latest products on various boats, we were brought inside for the usual State of the Union address. But while we were inside, the gang at Bourgeois were outside preparing a classic New Orleans seafood boil for dinner. I've caught many crayfish in my day, but never thought about putting them in a pot for dinner. Try everything once is what I say, but eating crawdads requires a certain skill. Luckily, we had a local expert on hand.
I'm gonna teach you the easiest with okay. Pull it apart, right there. Right there. Wait a minute. That's good. Okay, now watch. Let me show you that. You don't pinch it. You do this. Okay, look.
Okay, so you do a squeeze.
Yeah, eat down.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Thank you.
Eat the damn thing.
Our second day in New Orleans was spent waiting out most of the morning for the rain to pass. With the boats resting under the covered slips, we entertained ourselves by sharing the previous night's leftover seafood with some of the locals. At the first break in the rain, we headed out to the bayou to try our luck at some of the amazing fishing bourgeois is known for. This also gave us a chance to check out the area from a boater's point of view. As we ducked and weaved through the maze of grass islands, I couldn't help but be impressed as our guide expertly took us through the myriad of tiny landmasses. After about a half-hour ride, we were at our first spot and ready to get to work. Steve Fleming from Mercury was with us for the afternoon, and we had a friendly bet on who got the first fish, the biggest fish, and the most fish. Steve was off to an early lead with the first catch of the day, a nice little redfish, a popular game fish in the area that put up quite an awesome fight. Even the average sized fish can feel bigger than anticipated, as I soon found out.
Redfish, Cajun style.
Even when we weren't catching fish, it's easy to lose yourself in the awesome calming waters and grass islands of the bayous surrounding us. Not long into our day, we had a little visitor saunter over to check out the action. He must have been hungry or hated the color orange, because he soon decided to pick a fight with our bobber. But back to the fishing, it was our cameraman Aaron who ended up with all the luck of the day. Not only did Aaron nab the most fish, he also got this gorgeous 27-inch redfish, the biggest of the day. Of course, all good things must come to an end, so it was time to pack up the rods and head back. Our parting gift was an incredible Louisiana skyline. Well, as the sun goes down in New Orleans behind me, that ends our time here at the Mercury Marine Media event. I hope you enjoyed the time, but I gotta be honest, not every media event is as cool as this one, with eating crawfish and wrangling reds out on the bayou. But that said, we hope you enjoyed the time anyway.